Hi, my name is Eddie Santos. I'm a retired Army Sergeant with more than 23 years, and I am a disabled vet. I've been all over the place trying to get assistance for my disability. And as for right now, the only person that seemed to help me out was when I went to the congressman's office, tried to get some assistance for him to help me get my prosthetic leg fixed. So finally the congressman had me the opportunity to go to Palo Alto in San Jose, California, where they finally fixed my prosthetic. If you need help and you seem to not get it anywhere, you should go see our congressman with the people he has there to help us veterans get what we need and what we deserve for doing our time in service for the freedom of our island and for our country.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
A lot has changed overnight, but Buick and GMC's commitment to you remains the same. We understand you want to feel safe, so we're offering current owners complimentary OnStar Crisis Assist services. Should you need a vehicle, we're offering 0% financing for up to 84 months with deferred payment options for 120 days. Plus, you may have the option to shop online and take delivery at home. Visit our websites for the help you need.
Visit AutoSpot GMC today.
Funerals actually take a lot more planning than I expected. With us using Island Cuisine for the first time, of course we were iffy, but once they came and showed us their service, their food, tasted their food and everything, we definitely use them again because their service and food is just awesome.
The pompous
and elite wish we go away
because we are
real and direct.
No interest owns us,
and we have no interest but the truth.
Together we are exposing
corruption.
Together we will reform criminal justice.
Together
we are fighting violence
against women and children.
We here at
Kandit
will shine the light
on every corner of darkness.
Together we are giving a voice
to the voiceless
and forgotten.
Stay lit.
Together we
are giving a voice to the voiceless and forgotten.
We are Kandit News Group.
With the horses, I'll swim through the sea, I'll climb to the mountain tops, won't you come follow me? I'll take time to notice all that I see, and after I've come so far, know where I'll be. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away, oh. I'll fly away, fly away, fly last forever. For all that we know, the roads come together, and that's where we'll go.
Buenas Marianas and Micronesia. I'm Troy Torres. And sometimes I'm Governor Lulian Guerrero.
And I'm Johnny Rosario.
Welcome to our studios here in Tumon, Guam. Thank you for joining this Wednesday night, May 13 edition of Candid News. At our producer's desk is Eric Rosario. No one look at my nails because I haven't cut them in like a week or two or something, and I've been eating Takis, and I have to say those are the shiz. The red one, the red Takis. I know we all made fun of Takis when it first appeared on the shelves.
Yeah.
But they're so good.
It's called khakis.
Bring your mic on.
Oh, they're not Takis?
Oh shoot, Graham, I forgot. Sorry, guys. I'm really full. My daughter fed me, and
Can I borrow that thing that we're not
falling
supposed to be using? Thanks. I appreciate it. Let me just put it all the way over here. This is the snack tack that Johnny's oldest daughter Danielle made. And if I look stoned, it's not. I don't even like weed.
Food coma.
It's like a food food coma. I'm actually having to drink coffee to stay awake for this. Plus it was hot. Plus it was a pretty full news day. And actually I was going to take the day off and just, never mind the government of Guam, never mind. And then Congressman St. Nicholas called and he had like a ton of news. And we'll get straight to that, but we'll get right to that. But first, let's start with a message from Tanya Mendiola.
no, they just donated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got a couple of donations today. One is from Iraq, Afghanistan, Persian Gulf, and CNMI chapter veterans people. Tanya was the one who was able to drop it over. So thank you, Tanya, for that donation. Also, Doria, Janelyn, Rebecca, Steve, and Dolly have also donated.
Thank you, guys.
And that really helps with our drive, our food drive, our hungry drive.
Did we have a bunch of people come by today?
Yeah, we had 16 people come by today.
Maybe the numbers are dwindling because people are getting their EIPs or their federal cash stimulus or whatever.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one of our advertisers who is going back into business for the first time since this COVID-19 crisis began is going back into business on May 16th. Can you tell us more about this?
May 16. Island Cuisine is happy to announce that it will resume operations on May 16, 2020, Saturday, through its new and improved online ordering service. Please visit www.islandcuisine.net. Serving lunch from 10 a.m. to the last call for orders at 2 p.m. for 3 p.m. pickup and delivery. There's promos happening. Supreme Denancy also on promo. 2 breakfast meals for $12, 2 lunch and dinner meals for $16.
Well, that's pretty good.
Very good. As a special promo to their customers, you will get 15% off your first order. Also receive a 50% off kids menu item when you order a main entree. This promo is good up until May 31st, 2020. Again, visit the website at www.islandcuisine.net. And that is from your Island Cuisine Familia.
Thank you, Island Cuisine.
Thank you, Island Cuisine. And they make good food. They're the ones who catered my dad's funeral, and I didn't go hungry at my dad's funeral. And the fruit punch was really good. Hey, food takes my mind off of things. It's a stimulus for my soul. And speaking of stimulus, you like that seg?
Oh, and the Atkins also made a donation of...
Man, those guys are buying things for people every day.
And they get Huggies, too.
The expensive brand diapers?
Yeah.
This is James Atkins and Dr. Alexa Perez,
said
right?
they're very blessed, and they love sharing that. They come from a very blessed family, and they're more than happy to help out.
Did I ever tell you that Alexa and I used to hang out freshman year when she was an academy girl? And I wasn't an ND boy yet. I was a JFK student. And there was the Agania bus exchange thing, right?
Yes.
I can't remember why I was part of the, back then it was combined. This is how old I am. Back then, so like in order for me to, anyway, so my grandpa picked me up anyway, Alexa and I and a couple of our friends, including Angie Diaz, we get kicked out of the public library all the time by Christine Scott Smith. She was the Chinese lady. She does not look like her name is Christine Scott Smith. But she was really mean to anyone who made any noise inside the library. And of course, Alexa was like a super talker.
Yeah.
And I was the one who would laugh all the time.
Alexa wasn't naughty. She, I went to Bishop with her. So yeah, I was very naughty. Alexa wasn't naughty, So yeah.
And one of our other classmates.
She was probably like in 7A, the 7A, 6A.
When you were in 7C.
Oh yeah. I was always in the naughty classes.
I was always in the C's.
Alexa was probably in the A's.
I was in 6C, 7C, and 8C.
But yes, thank you, the Atkins family.
And yes, thank you to them. Now, speaking of stimulus for my soul.
Stimulated?
Yeah, there are stimulus checks that are coming out. And one of our viewers, who doesn't want to say who she is, but she sent us a copy of her stimulus check or a photo of her stimulus check. And what she wanted to say was thank you to Congressman Michael Nicholas and President Trump for her stimulus check. Yeah, because, and so when I was doing my, I would say run, but it really was more of a walk through Tumon tonight, there was something different about Tumon. First, there were way more people who were running, jogging. I wanted to trip the skinny ones, of course. But the other thing that was different was that more restaurants, I saw people cleaning inside the restaurants. I even saw people cleaning inside the plaza. So I was wondering, are they going to open, and why would they open if the tourists are not here yet? And I understand that DFS will not be opening for a while. I didn't see any lights on at DFS, but at Pika's is open. That place near Beach and Shrimp, Eat Grill Streets. Eat Street Grill, yeah, that place, they're cleaning, and then there were people outside passing out flyers, and I actually have one. They have pretty good rates too. It's somewhere here. They have
It's just for takeout though, right?
It's just for takeout, yeah. And then that Japanese restaurant, the one that has the sushi, we go there sometimes. I can't remember the name. I think it's Yokozuna. Is that the name of it?
Yes, Yokozuna.
They've been open. They didn't take out that thing that blocks people from the front door yet. And then a few more restaurants, I just can't remember their names. There were people inside cleaning, so I'm wondering, are they going to be open anytime soon?
Most likely.
Oh, okay.
I think a lot of people are eager to open, and instead of dining in, times are changing,
Back to normal, or
no,
the new normal?
The new normal.
The new normal?
Yeah. But we just have to, personal responsibility, make sure we wear our mask, and our culture's so used to hugging each other, and
Oh, I'm good with the new culture. I'm all about personal space.
I know you are. Me, I'm a social butterfly, so.
What about that other restaurant that we used to go to?
Which one's that?
Kichimi Des.
We never went to that restaurant.
Oh, sorry.
We always ate at Rotary. Was Rotary open?
They have a new location where Chick Boys was.
The old Burger King.
Yes, I wonder how that's gonna go, because
I don't know.
It's
not enough
it's an
cockroaches.
Experience.
I know, and that's such a clean looking building and everything. I know, but you know what? Like House of Chin Phi, when it was House of Roach Phi, the food was bomb. Right. But now that it's so clean and like marble floors and everything, it's just not as good. Yeah.
That's what you say about Lee Garden.
Exactly, Lee Garden. That's another one. Leave it in the dingy place. I think there's some like extra flavoring that public health frowns upon, but it's what makes the food better, I think. When you have the carpet, remember Denny's in Tumuning had that carpet for like 40 years? Right. And then they took the carpet out and it was all tiles, and all of a sudden the food is different and it's more expensive. Right. But I love Denny's though, it's still good. My favorite's that. Anyway, there's news tonight. GPA is one of those places that is reopening for its customers. The customer lobbies actually will be open, and they put in a new drive-through. Now, I know we've all been enjoying this whole, like, don't pay your power and water bill throughout this whole period, but at some point that's not going to be the thing, and at some point the bill is going to come, and so it's probably a good idea to at least start paying it down little by little. They are offering a 6-month payment plan thing.
Yes.
But as much as possible, pay
Just depending on who you get on the phone, they're nice about it. Because if you get someone messed up, like she didn't give me no chance. She told me no.
Go ahead.
So I don't blame them. We all fall on hard times, and yeah, so
this is what they're doing. Beginning tomorrow, customer lobbies for in-person transactions and GPA and GWA customers may pay their power bills using 2 newly installed GPWA drive-through payment windows at their main facility in Fadian. Upon arrival at Fadian, customers can expect to see GPA and GWA employees at the roadside entrance managing traffic flow into and through the modified front customer parking lot, as well as guiding customers to line up at the entrance to the GPWA building to make their power and water utility payments or drop off documents. As both utilities introduce this new payment service option to our customers, we humbly ask everyone to kindly bear with us as we transition together to this new and adjusted way of opening our services back up in this time of the pandemic, according to the newly mandated guidelines. That's a quote from John Benevenci, who is the general manager for GPA. Customers are strongly encouraged to first take advantage of alternate and electronic payment channels to avoid long wait times and to limit face-to-face contact following social distance protocols. So you can, to conduct your GPA, GWA business, you can call GPA's customer service line at 647-5787 to discuss account information or to assist with payment arrangements. And you get this, if you leave a message,
they call you back.
They do. They call you back in the same day. And
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah. The person that called me back said no to me. Yeah. So I wanted to hang up and get another phone call back from somebody else. But I've always had bad luck with GPA. When I asked a friend to hook me up with the boss so they can help me. Yeah, I went from having a $200 deposit, and the lady's like, no, you need to do a $500 deposit. I'm like, man, what kind of connect is this? But I've always had bad luck with GPA.
You can pay by phone using that same number, 647-5787. You can get the GPWA mobile app. There's online payment at paygpa.com, or there's a Dropbox payment option. Cash paying customers can make payments at local banks, the Treasurer of Guam, which is at ITC building, and the GWA drive-through payment window service in Upper Tumon, and the ANZ Bank at Hulali branch drive-through window in Agana. There's other information that you can find.
And if you're going to pay it at a bank and you don't have a bank account, they charge you $2.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
You can find this information at www.kanditnews.com. Thank you for saying bank account. Just a friendly reminder, if you have a Bank of Guam account, to close it and open an account somewhere else.
There's other really nice banks.
There's Community First. That's our bank. We're cool with them. They're awesome. That's been my. Oh, I shouldn't even say that, but I already said it.
Yeah,
right?
because you ruined us with IT&E.
No. I mean, like I'm not supposed to tell people like.
Where we bank?
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know.
What are they gonna do? They can't rob us.
Like a Nigerian scam thing or something going on?
That's only if you answer Nigerian people.
Oh, you don't want to rob us. We're not the kind of people you should rob. Anyway.
They can't rob us. There's nothing to rob.
Yeah.
You can take my bills.
Yeah, you can take the bills. Community First, their phone number is 472-8210. They've got a great automated system. Great, you press 4, you get an operator like right away. It's not like the government of Guam. What? Not all the government of Guam. The directors. But not all of the directors either. I like Daphne Shimizu. She answers the phone all the time or calls back. So anyway, there's a lot that happened today, and let's just start with $13 an hour. HR 6800, which has been introduced in the U.S. House of Representatives, and to which Congressman Mike Nicholas is a co-author of the measure, is going to do a whole lot of things if it's passed into law. It's expected to pass the House this week and then be sent to the Senate, and then we'll see what happens after that. Over the next few hours, we're expecting reactions from the Senate and maybe even from the President about this. But one of the things that it does is it adds $13 an hour that the federal government will pay to those considered essential workers throughout the country.
Private sector and all.
This includes the private sector, yes. And if there was something that, there was a complaint about regarding, all the stimulus money for whatever, right? It's been that it has been focused so much on public sector workers, but Congress is seeing that private sector workers need some love too. And so in a phone call that you can find it on our Facebook page, it's an hour and 5-minute interview that we had with Congressman Mike Nicholas earlier today. He announces this, and earlier in the morning in a news conference that he had, part of this HR 6800 is $13 per hour of work to the amount workers already are paid by their employers. So let's say you make $8.75 an hour, right?
Yeah,
minimum wage. Add $13 to that, and your new wage is $21.75 an hour.
Right.
It's an amazing thing. It is capped at $10,000 though.
Yeah, you cannot make more than 10,000 in that year.
Yes, of the 13. So
Right.
whatever 10,000 divided by 13 is the number of hours that you'll be paid. But
Per
still,
worker,
an
right.
addition per worker.
Yeah.
An additional $10,000 in income in a year that's a very big deal. This is restricted to essential workers throughout the country who are working on the emergency and have actual physical interaction with people as they work during this emergency. And so here's a list. It's not an exhaustive list. If you don't hear your job title on this, it might be because you're under a category. It also might be because we didn't take notes fast enough when the congressman was giving us the list.
We should be getting a list as soon as it clears.
From his office, right?
Yes.
So first responders, such as police officers, firefighters, and medics, emergency management services personnel, security guards, child maltreatment workers, protective services, that's like marshals and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. Healthcare setting workers in hospitals and clinics, they normally call that like inpatient and outpatient. Mm-hmm. Pharmacy workers, medical testing and diagnostic workers. Okay, just an example, right, of pharmacy workers. It's not just the pharmacist that gets
everybody.
the $13.
Yeah.
It's like if you are the receptionist at the pharmacy and you come into contact with people.
In order for you to service the people, you need the receptionist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the receptionist at the pharmacy office qualifies as well. This is pretty big. Home and community-based health workers. Now, please don't read that as home workers. It's home dash and community dash based health workers. That's like if you're some sort of caretaker, right, of someone who's homebound. Mm-hmm. Behavioral health workers, childcare, social work, and family service workers, public health agencies workers, retail workers in businesses providing groceries and medical goods and supplies. That's a big deal, right? We always said that it was our grocery workers who are probably the most at risk during this whole period. Restaurant workers, food production workers, that's agriculture, farming and fishing. Cleaning and building maintenance workers, removal or collection of solid waste workers, educational work, including early childhood education workers, laundry services workers, elections workers, so like poll watchers, judges, stuff like that. Hazardous materials workers, mortuary services workers, physical and occupational therapy workers, dental care workers, U.S. Postal Service workers, hotel and commercial non-congregate facility workers. I do know that I'm missing from this list that I did write down is transportation workers. So like bus drivers, truckers, things like that, they're all included. Taxi drivers.
This is exciting. We got to remember with the CARES Act, before that came out, Congress was letting us know what they're working on, and we wanted to, or he wanted to make sure that Guam was ready for it, and we weren't. So I think he's doing us a solid and doing it one more time with instructions, and getting people informed of the right things, of things that to be done the right way. So I'm excited. I'm excited about all this money being infused to Guam. We just gotta stay focused, and this is really gonna help our island.
Now, if this, oh, by the way, it's called the HEROES Act. It's not called CARES 2, it's called the HEROES Act. If this HEROES Act passes, this $13 an hour, that's not the only thing. And the stories we've written don't even come close to half of what Guam is getting. We're going to save some stories.
The bill
for
is
tomorrow.
actually 1,800 pages long.
Yeah, I'm not going to read any of that. Are you going to read any of it?
No, I'm just going to read what
I'm just going to wait for the Cliff's Notes from his office. They're credible. They're not going to lie. They haven't lied to us.
Yeah.
So I trust them. They're cool. So the other thing that is coming out of the CARES Act is $2.683 billion.
That is more money Guam has ever seen.
Let me put this into perspective. This is just for fiscal year 2020. The government of Guam budget for fiscal year 2020 right now is somewhere south of $1 billion. So not even $1 billion, right? The provision for tax refunds itself is $125 million. Tax refund payables, meaning the amount that's estimated to be owed in tax refunds now for 2019 and prior, about $140 million. Total business privilege tax collections prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, somewhere around $300 million. $2.683 billion is nearly 3 times the amount it takes to run the entire government of Guam.
And Michael Siniclis is, they're gonna. I really hope it goes through. I'm pretty sure there'll be some provisions and some, however that works, right?
Well, I don't even think Guam's gonna know. I can just see all of the lights going on
The money,
at the legislature.
the money eyes.
Yeah, there's gonna be appropriations for every single, Christmas tree decoration that they can get their hands on to planta all over the place for all their special projects and stuff. But what the congressman points out is that this kind of money, you can go to. There can be programs for money to help struggling people. There can be rebates to the people. There can be a tax holiday on the business privilege tax for small businesses. You could pay all of the tax refunds that are owed and fill the provision for tax refunds for the very first time since the ADA administration. Like, imagine how many years ago that is. There's been a structural imbalance in the general fund for over 2 decades. It was only ever solved once over the last 2 decades, and that was in one fiscal year during the Calvo administration. Then the structural imbalance came back. This would be wiped out. That structural imbalance would be wiped out.
And if they spend the money correctly, revenue and taxes system could get up to date, and we could receive our refunds the same way the United States of America does.
Yeah.
So I file today. Let's say I just go to H&R Block or whatever company here. I file. They write me a check in 3 days, or deposit the money into my bank account in 3 days.
Wow.
So if we and there's money in there to update the systems to make sure we're up to date. And if that happens, I mean, this is so great.
This is huge.
It's exciting.
There's a lot of perspective to be had here about $2.683 billion.
Even the public health system in the States, you file online for food stamps and welfare or Medicaid. All those programs you do everything online, and you get loaded. Your thing comes in the mail. It's loaded. You don't have to go into their office. So if we do things right, Guam can get things done.
So the congressman was saying, because we asked him, Congressman, there's a big concern on Guam that much money going to Governor Lulian Goron, the 35th Guam legislature, is just, you know what can happen. And he said, that's why the public auditor and the attorney general need to be vanguards or whatever you call it of the public's trust and public accountability. And I was like, well, why don't you just be governor? Like, so we don't have this problem. He laughed. He didn't say anything. He didn't commit.
And this
to
is
a run
exciting
right now.
also for DOE. If they spend the money correctly, our children can have distance learning. There's just so much.
There's a whole pot of separate money just for education.
Yes.
And so we'll have those stories out tomorrow. There's a lot that the congressman told us today. So if you want to find out what all of that is, did we just have a ka-ching money thing drop? If you want to find out what that is, you can watch our live with him earlier today. It was an hour and 5 minutes of just pure information coming out about this HEROES Act, and he also talked about the CARES Act as well. Let's go to your comments first before we move on. Mark Uggan says, all that money and a greedy administration. Oh boy. Denise Legaspi says, how do restaurant workers apply for the $13 an hour? So that the information, the guidelines on all of it, they're not out yet. Actually, this is still a pending legislation in the U.S. House of Representatives. It is expected to pass the House this week, and then it goes to the Senate, and I don't know how long it's going to take there, or whether it's going to be passed. We should all pray that it does, because this will affect a whole lot of people. There are concerns about what this means for the U.S. debt, and I'll just leave those concerns to the president, since he seems to be doing a great job with the whole, manufacturing industry and the trade wars and all that stuff. I don't understand any of it, but if the president can fix it, that'd be great. Dwayne Pareto says, I'll just deal with what I got because they're gonna abuse the workers, LOL. Mark again says they could also get a lab in place for cannabis testing. Oh, an important part about that $2.683 billion. It has to do with the financial and economic recovery of the island. So its use has to be somehow tied to that. There are creative things that you can do, but maybe purchasing a lab for cannabis testing, unless they can prove that, as a result of COVID-19, the government of Guam was going to buy that lab, and then COVID-19 came and now we didn't have the money for it, but I don't think that was the case. So maybe the lab might not be able to follow.
I'm pretty sure
guidelines.
somebody's going to think of something, how to juke the system somewhere, and we just have to keep them on their toes.
James Howard says $2.6 billion, that's a lot of drugs, man. Like 1 month of sales for the Diaz cartel in Juarez. I've never heard of the Diaz cartel. Viva Guam says, Lou making plans to hoard out the $2.6 billion. Honestly, I thought that said something else. Daily Intuition says, I missed the IRS in the States. The longest I waited for my refund was 9 days. Mark Ogden says they could build another hospital. Actually, Mark, there's even more news and another pot of money about that whole hospital thing, and we'll get to that tomorrow. Norma and Robert Castro say, hang in there and wait. Say to Dwayne, hang in there and wait for the build-up. There should be more technical positions. Dwayne Pareto says, because the states have more talented people than the ones working for the government. John Michael Beneventi says, I completely forgot about Levin and BJ. Hashtag ghosting. I think the public auditor said something today about how he was going to get involved with something. I didn't read the story,
see that.
though.
He said, meh.
Meh? That should make Eddie Calvo mad. Meh. Mark Onion says, DOE could have real cafeteria food made at the school. Man, if you guys went to Notre Dame High School when the nuns were cooking the food.
Oh, jello.
Oh.
Even the old lady cooks for DOE back
Yeah.
The old lady cooks for DOE, yep.
Hey, the one that always gave me extra scoop. Here, my boy. So poki labot.
I'm one of those people who love cafeteria and plain food.
Me too.
Yeah. And
I like hospital food.
Yeah, I like hospital food too. And so I ate all the time at the JFK cafeteria. And like some of my classmates were like, ew, the cafeteria food is gross. I'm like, what crack are you smoking? This food is good.
My mom used, lunch used to be at JFK 35 cents, right?
Yeah, 35 cents.
right? My mom would be like, because I'd always ask for 60 cents
Yeah.
or 70 cents. She's like, what do you need 70 cents for? So I can eat twice.
Christina Lynn Mondina Fernandez says, is that restaurant including hotel restaurants and hotel workers, as long as the hotel has something to do with coming into contact with coronavirus, blah, blah, blah. But Christina Lynn, I believe the answer to that would be yes. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just guessing, just as a common sense guess, yes. John Michael Beneventi says to Teresa, Lulu's favorite lie. Janela Carrera? Is that... We're on day 10 of Janela Carrera not apologizing, P.S. Raul Tack says, what do y'all expect from a governor with the whole bank as her piggy bank? While we take out pennies from our piggy bank to buy bread to feed our children, she takes millions from the feds to have a hotel party at Packstar. She should run for president of DOC inmates and give her a taste of a different kind of penny, a penitentiary. I love that so much, Raul Tack. That is freaking awesome. David Lebowski says, Mike is great for Guam, but that bill, Heroes 2, is unrealistic. The Senate will never pass it as it fixes mismanaged states, etc., prior to COVID, etc. It's a political stunt that stalls realistic direct funding for people now. Well, we shall see. Apparently, the senators are expected to start having comments on it within hours, and so we'll see how that's going to go. Bibo Guam says, extra money for laptops and wireless mouse. Don't forget the Gucci laptop bag that the BBMR wants to have. Mark Uggins says, the lab could boost the economy post-COVID-19. Oh, I'm certain, Chella, that without weed being legally sold, it's still an industry. And it's probably making the most money around this time. Everyone's just staying home, bored out their wits. Denise Legaspi says, cannabis farmers and shops and such would be a big boost to our economy right now. Yeah, the government of Guam got it together and regulated the industry, yeah, but Guam, how many years has it been? Since, so Clint passed the the adult use cannabis law in the beginning of 2019. The medical marijuana law was passed in, was it 2016?
Mm-hmm.
And look, we're 4 years later, and Gov Guam can't get it together. Mark Huggins says, old lady cooks with no eyebrows. I love him. Extra food for the last in line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. So the next thing is, so then we go from all of this great news from Congressman Mike St. Nicholas back to the reality that is the government of Guam. And the reality in the government of Guam is that people are not getting paid, and these are people who have earned their pay. We have, there was a release or a letter from Senator Jim Moylan. Pardon me for not being ready with it. I'm going to it right now. So Senator Jim Moylan today wrote to Lulian Guerrero, and do you want to get this, John?
I don't have it.
I'll send it to you right now. Because my throat's getting dry.
Yeah, I'm falling asleep because of the Tanak.
It's because I'm boring, Nina, that's why.
No.
Oh, Alicia Kanata's writing something. I bet it's going to be exciting. Did you get it?
No.
On WhatsApp?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Oh, who did I send it to?
Not me.
Oh, I just sent someone something and I don't know who. Who did I just send something to? Oh, I think I just sent it to Mariana's Dirty Laundry.
No, it's not even there.
Sorry. Let me drink some coffee.
There you go.
You can go ahead and cast to my screen now, Chilla.
Senator Moylan wrote to Honorable Lourdes Leon Guerrero. Dear Governor Leon Guerrero, this past week our island has entered the initial phases of reopening, both as a community and as an economy. While we are still far from finalizing this pandemic in our history books, it has been a long and tumultuous 60 days. Yet, as an island community, we are moving ahead with hope and optimism. This process, however, would not have been possible without the efforts of the many frontliners in the public sector who left their homes daily to help our island combat this crisis, many times facing exposure to the COVID-19 virus themselves.
You know, Governor, the ones you don't care about, the ones you could give two rat's asses about, just those.
Our people are indeed grateful for the sacrifices made by these healthcare providers, public safety and law enforcement officers, and the endless heroes who, by the virtue of an executive order, were deemed essential employees of the public sector during the heart of the pandemic. With this in mind, I would like to humbly request a reconsideration on your decision to suspend the benefits outlined in 8.406C2 of Chapter 8 of the Department of Administration's Personnel Rules and Regulations, specifically when it comes to providing double pay for essential employees during the declaration of a state of public health emergency. There are many considerations to place on the table in terms of this request, and for that, I would like to present some realities that I hope would assist in this appeal. They are as follows. The simplest actuality is that these frontliners deserve this compensation, as they certainly place themselves and their families in harm's way on an almost daily basis. From medical professionals who were in the line of fire to public safety personnel who were exposed to the risk of the virus while keeping our neighbors safe, these were emergency circumstances that warrant the benefit. The possibility of the government of Guam losing an inevitable class action lawsuit would end up costing taxpayers millions more in the future versus addressing the double pay at this time. As someone who participated in the peaceful protests led by healthcare workers yesterday evening, I can fairly state that these deserving individuals are mobilized and prepared, and thus it would be irresponsible for the government not to place this matter on the table for serious consideration. The monies from the CARES Act are available. According to a media interview with DOA Director Ed Byrne, it was stated that paying the benefits outlined in Chapter 8 of DOA's personnel rules would cost the government an estimated $3 million per pay period. If we eliminate the need to pay COVID-19 differential pay, and considering that it has been 5 pay periods since the March 14, 2020 executive order was signed, this would estimate a payout of $15 million to get the double pay to current. This figure could be reduced if we address eligibility. For example, remove agency heads from qualifying.
Yeah.
According to the CARES Act budget proposal submitted by your office, $22 million has been earmarked to pay differential pay. Hence, the double pay can be budgeted for at least another month if the declaration remains. $20 million from the CARES Act was earmarked for a local cash payment program and is currently tracking to only pay out $6 million to $7 million by the time the application process ends on Friday, May 15, 2020. Thus, there will be additional monies available for transfer to covering the double pay in the event you continue to extend emergency declaration all the way until August. Since my request to extend the local cash payment program's eligibility by raising the earning threshold was rejected by your administration, I would hope that the surplus monies can be used to rightfully benefit deserving parties who have helped our island combat this pandemic. After a review of the many expenditures being outlined in the CARES Act budget, I could say with certainty that addressing this compensation would be assuring that priorities are met. Plus, there is still opportunity that these monies can be reimbursed by FEMA since there are expenditures incurred due to an emergency. As someone who is fiscally conservative and who is requesting that your administration submit a revised budget proposal for fiscal year 2021, this government has the opportunity to do what is right and appropriate while assuring that the general fund is not impacted. History has proven that the cost associated with losing a class action lawsuit ends up setting a government entity back financially. We also
And it
need
makes Mike Phillips rich.
We also need to address the realities that hundreds of frontliners are deserving of these benefits, and neither proclamations, resolutions, or even statements can equate the message that is delivered when they are properly compensated. Governor, while I understand that I may not receive a response to this letter, let alone an acknowledgement, what I simply request is that a reconsideration be made. As a representative of the people, it troubles me when I read media stories on how these CARES Act monies are being expended.
On laptop bags.
That I simply ask for the government to correct the many wrongs and let make this issue right. If you or any member of your administration have any questions, I am open to conversation. Thank you very much. Please let's support our frontliners. Respectfully, James Jim Moylan, Senator.
So Senator Moylan is not the only person who appealed to the governor today regarding the double pay issue. So did Speaker Tina Mooney Barnes. Do we have her picture so that, thanks. So she wrote today to the cash director of the government, Ed Byrne, and she says, first and foremost, thank you for blah, 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 blah. Yesterday, I joined countless COVID-19 heroes who have spent the last 2 months selflessly dedicating their skills to protect our community. From my discussions with them, it was clear that they did so out of their sense of duty stemming from their profession and also the sense of community stemming from the ancient Chamorro spirit of Inafa Malik. There's that Inafa Malik thing again. Yesterday, it broke my heart as I heard a story of students who were taken out of the classrooms to respond to a pandemic. They did so because they felt it was their responsibility to contribute their time and skills to our community, and yet they have yet to be paid for weeks. For many of these young adults, it wasn't about getting paid a living wage, overtime, or double pay. They just wanted to get paid so they can get gas money to go back to the front lines. That is really sad, actually.
Mm-hmm.
In the governor's veto message on Bill 326, that's the double pay and hazard pay bill, and echoed by your remarks this morning, providing double pay for frontliners can cost up to $36 million. I am requesting from you explanation on how this estimate was derived. Good for you, Speaker. And if you can provide me an estimate on payroll costs for each of our frontline essential agencies. Given that this state of emergency extends much longer than our normal emergencies, it is understandable that a tiered system may be needed in order to provide a more sustainable model. That being said, given that a policy was put in place in a matter of days, it may be necessary to go back and work out details that may have been overlooked. As we look at the proposed legislation submitted by the governor, I would also seek your assistance in exploring how we can figure out a mechanism to adequately compensate these frontliners who may have been overlooked. Given that we are shifting from a response to a recovery phase in our battle against COVID-19, and we are already in PCOR 2, that would be the dollar amount to compensate those. What would be the dollar amount to compensate those with direct contact with patients? I hope I can get these figures so that at the bare minimum we can compensate them for their service during PCOR 1. I also understand that federal resources are available should the government of Guam prioritize payments to our first responders, and I hope to hear more about this from you tomorrow during our informational briefing. Today, Congress has proposed the HEROES Act, which further allows fair compensation to our frontliners during a state of emergency. As we have seen during the implementation of the CARES Act, many of these programs take weeks or months to be implemented, and some have yet to get off the ground. As the oversight chairwoman on the Committee on Human Resources, I'm humbly requesting that we start looking at these programs now so that should this measure pass, the government of Guam can directly implement such federal programs. Let's get started now so that should this measure pass, should there be a way we can implement these programs locally first while we await federal packages to trickle down, we can get started immediately. Now, the speaker didn't just, this is hot off the presses. That was her letter earlier today to Ed Byrne, the government's cash director, also known as the director of administration. Apparently, 8 members of the Guam legislature, so the majority of members of the Guam legislature signed a letter to Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, and to Nancy Pelosi, that drunk-ass Speaker of the House, Um, and this is what they say. This is signed by Tina Barnes, Tilina Nelson, Mary Torres, Kelly Taitano, Joe Augustine, Therese Terlahi, Clint Rigel, and Pito Terlahi. They say the 35th legislature would like to express its support for the recently introduced HEROES Act. The 4 million U.S. citizens in the territories and the millions more who live across the United States with roots in the territories are counting on our government to provide solutions for all Americans to this unprecedented economic situation. Most notably, the proposed legislation would provide the necessary funds to support a wide range of local programs such as COVID-19 testing, hazardous pay for essential workers, rent and mortgage assistance, and an additional one-time stimulus check to qualified families and individuals. As we contemplate opening up our economies at the local level, the potential danger of a second wave illustrates an acute need for programs like the HEROES Act. Since Guam has imposed its strict social distancing measures, the funds that were provided by the Coronavirus Aid, the CARES Act, has enabled it to steadily flatten our curve. Our nurses, first responders, and other essential workers who have been on the front lines in our fight to contain the coronavirus deserve compensation for their heroic actions to save the lives of our people. There's more to this letter, but I want to comment on that real fast. I think it's really sad that the Guam legislature and our congressmen have to ask Congress for money to pay our frontliners because Governor Lulian Guerrero refuses to pay them. I think that's so sad. And we have 8 members of the Guam legislature writing to the Senate Majority Leader and the Speaker of the House of Representatives saying, you know, we could really use this money to pay our frontliners. And the only line that they're leaving out is, it's because laptop bags are more important to our governor. And laptops and iPads.
Yeah. And we're the one that's just going to eat it in the end.
Yeah. The letter goes on. As legislators of our local government, we understand the challenges of moving forward, but we also understand that bipartisan legislation is possible. We are united as Democrats, Republicans, and citizens of this great land in supporting the HEROES Act to ameliorate the economic impacts of COVID-19 and enabling our people financial support to remain on their feet and provide for their families. This is our highest calling as leaders, blah, 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 blah. The money provided in the CARES Act was critical to our ability to meet the blah, blah, blah. So please, people in Congress, support the HEROES Act, is what these 8 senators are saying. Again,
they're also saying, can you please send us more money because the governor is not giving anybody money with the first CARES Act.
Essentially, that is what they're saying. It's just so sad. It's Speaker Barnes, Vice Speaker Nelson, Senator Mary Torres, Senator Pito Terlahi, Senator Therese Terlahi, Senator Kelly Taisano, Senator Joe Augustine, and Senator Clint Rigel.
So just the Democrats?
No, there's
Mary Torres.
Mary Torres. There's 1 Republican. There's Democrats missing here. And 4 Republicans missing. But I don't know, maybe they rushed this up, who knows. We'll ask. So we're going to speak with Senator Jim Moylan tomorrow in the morning for our show tomorrow. He wants to speak with Kandit Land about...
Cool.
About
I love it. I love it when they want to do that.
Issue. Yeah. And this is something that's important to Senator Jim Moylan and Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes, who were at the protest yesterday, and to Republican senatorial candidate Vince Borja, who was there holding a sign for the nurses and stuff. Important issues for them. I don't know whether any other politician was there. I'm sure.
No, but it was sad that Linda wasn't there.
Darcy.
Yeah, and the lieutenant governor, at least, you know. Where are these people that are supposed to stand up?
Well, the lieutenant governor is still trying to get Janela Carrera to apologize to the people of Guam. I think that's where.
Well, it's already been 10 days. So yesterday was the 9th day. It's not going to happen. So why don't you get your butt over there and support these frontline workers?
I know.
Because they wake up every day and do their job for you.
There is an informational briefing that the speaker is hosting tomorrow regarding the finances of the government of Guam, and confirmed to attend. This should be interesting. And person who sent this to me, I know you're listening, so Kandit is making a request to be a part of this Zoom conference, I'm guessing. John Jr. Calvo, Ed Byrne, the cash director, Lester Carlson, the budget director, David De La Sola, the director of labor, Daphne Shimizu, the director of revenue and taxation, Dr. Ricky Hernandez, the GITA deputy administrator. Where is Melanie Mendiola, the GITA administrator?
She was on sick leave.
In quarantine.
But no, she should be done from the quarantine now. Like, why is the administration only putting up Ricky Hernandez on this. Mel Mendiola is a very well-spoken, very smart person. She knows her stuff. She should be before the legislature on this stuff. Carlo Branch, the staff assistant, Stephanie Flores, the director of the Guam State Clearinghouse, they will all be there. And the speaker has already sent the administration a whole bunch of questions on the Government of Guam response plan, the Government of Guam recovery plan, and support received from the Trump administration. She intends to ask these questions of these public officials tomorrow, but you guys don't hold your breath. They are not going to be transparent with the legislature. They are going to just weasel their way through these questions.
That's why they all should be sworn under oath.
Yeah, personally, so do we know if the legislature is going to be sworn? I'm sorry, if the participants are going to be sworn to testify under oath, you know, like against the perjury, blah, 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 right? John Michael Beneventi says, a nurse that doesn't support nurses. Well, I'm glad you are alive today to hear this. Denise Pangolinan says, oh my God, those falling dollar signs. She's laughing out loud. Lotswam says, none of these schools were put out on the news. What schools? I'm so sorry. Did I miss something?
I don't.
John Michael Beneventi says, didn't you hear Kandit Land is going even more legit?
Why is he saying that?
Because of our call earlier today, or when we asked the congressman about legitimate.
Oh yeah.
Resources.
Did we ever get the answer of why they're not testing people?
No, of course not. Of course not. The government of Guam is just not going to answer our questions, and that's not the fault of people like Nick Lee, he's going to get fired if he provides us with answers. You know. It's the managers over the governor's office, and probably the governor herself, who was like, you better put a gag on them.
Gag them?
You better gag that Kandit like Janela was. Never mind.
Wait for it.
Almost. I almost did something highly inappropriate there.
Unprofessional.
We're professional here. At Kandit Nights, we're Christians too.
So lately, the government has been testing less. We don't know why. We're supposed to be testing at least 200 a day.
Yeah, now they're testing 21.
16.
I have a theory.
What's the theory?
That they're actually using the Abbott ID Now machine the correct way. That's my theory, because you can only test once every 15 minutes with the Abbott ID Now machine. I think they have 2 of those at the Northern Public Health Center. So I think that whole, you got to test a certain way really screwed with their plans.
Yeah.
And because Dr. Mike Cruz said, oh, we should only use this with FDA and EUA and blah, 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 it got them into a corner that they can't get out of now.
Well, the FDA just approved Rutgers saliva testing home use.
Oh, okay.
I haven't read into it, but they're very, Rutgers is where my sister works in the States, in New Jersey.
And she's a real epidemiologist.
Yes, she is. So I just need to look into that. Maybe we can get some home kits for us.
Oh, we're not in. We will never get the contract, ever.
No, I'm saying it's for your home use. It's personal use.
Oh, it's going to be seized at the border.
I know how to get stuff in.
No, she doesn't.
I do. Put me in jail. Put me in jail.
Allegedly,
yeah.
Put me in jail.
More than 3 years ago.
Put me in jail. I'll go to jail for that.
Statute of limitations is expired. Now, Senator Jim Moylan and Speaker Tina Mooney Barnes are asking all of these questions. Senator Therese Terlahi has been asking a whole bunch. Can I have some of those?
This one?
No.
The cookies?
The famous Amos. I keep looking at it. Thanks. Where was I?
Senator something.
Oh, Senator Therese Terlahi has been asking a whole bunch of questions. More questions are going to be asked tomorrow. All of this centers around a theme of transparency and accountability of public funds, whether they're federal or they're local. But as the media, and it's not just Kandit, it's basically all of the other news stations are uncovering things on more than a daily basis. It seems like every 6 hours. There's something new that the media and the public are discovering with regard to corruption in the government of Guam. And the latest thing that we've uncovered is regarding food delivery. Something as simple as food delivery within these hotels. Now, we've all seen the videos and the photos coming out of cabinet members on their feeds about, they were showing off that they're the ones who are delivering food to the hotel rooms, right? The videos were of Pacific Star. I don't know the photos were all Pacific Star, but they were also Wyndham and Days Inn or whatever. But even the governor said, and Carlo Branch said, in defense of why there are so many cabinet members and Adelup staffers who are in these hotel quarantines, why the people of Guam are paying their salaries to be there and paying for hours beyond 40 hours a week to be at these quarantine sites. The reason that they gave us is because they are delivering food and they are providing blankets and pillows whenever they get calls for blankets and pillows. But we found something interesting today in the contract for the Pacific Star Hotel. It says that the Pacific Star is supposed to be delivering the food, providing, processing, and delivering the food to the rooms, and it's in their contract. It's on page 2 of the contract.
But
So
the contract's not even...
It's an unexecuted contract, but Ha Hyun and the governor the governor said that this is legal because these are verbal agreements. Remember former Governor Eddie Calvo said, I never heard of a verbal agreement used in procurement. But this is the basis for that the governor is using that these are legal is that these are verbal contracts backed up by whatever that they
Where
use.
is she pulling her laws? Where?
From her son-in-law, who does not have a full license to practice law in Guam. So we asked Chuck Estevez about this today, and we said, hey, this is coming from your agency. Chuck Estevez's signature is the first one required on each of these hotel contracts. Granted, he did not sign them. And I'm going to guess that he refused to sign them because they're illegal. That's just me guessing. Chuck Estevez didn't say that he refused to sign them. He just said that he didn't sign them. And if you look at these contracts, it's true. He didn't sign them. But the reason he hasn't signed them is because these funds are taken out of his agency. And the funds the actual money that was put into those fund accounts was from the CARES Act. So this is federal money that they're talking about. And in this contract with the Pacific Star, it says that the Pac Star is supposed to be delivering food. So if we're paying the Pac Star to deliver that food, why are we also paying cabinet members and Adelup staffers at rates that are up to 6 times higher than a housekeeper at the Pacific Star, who they've displaced to deliver the same food that the Pac Star is supposed to deliver? Can we go to the interview with Chuck Estevez now? Off day, Chuck. Thank you for agreeing to hear our questions and hopefully answer some of them.
Yeah, no worries. And then just let you know, so Nick did write down those questions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first one is regarding one of the hotel contracts. The language is similar in actually all of them, and this is a section E. It says, "Hotel shall provide quarantine persons with deliver palatable quality food to all quarantine persons at the facility." I wanted to ask if the hotels are contracted or are supposed to be delivering this food, why are cabinet members and the governor telling the public that the cabinet members are there to deliver the food?
Yeah, I honestly don't know. So that's Rebecca Respicio operation. Probably a question to further. I do know that, and I'm not sure about any of the contracts that were ongoing. I do know that we're working with GSA to get out a contract and award in the next couple days.
And that is by the order of the governor, right? In a memorandum that she sent?
But you're talking about towards the payment, right?
Yeah.
The previous contract, that memorandum?
Yeah, the May 8th memorandum, I think it is, or May 6th, I can't remember.
Yeah, I didn't really read it in full, but I think it was something to do with kind of closing that part out, and then what we're doing here is we're starting fresh.
Okay, so in these contracts that said, that the hotels have is it your understanding as the agency where these contracts are supposedly written from, that the hotels were supposed to have been the ones delivering the food to the rooms?
That I don't know, honestly. I mean, I didn't sign off or read off on any of those contracts. So.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, and everywhere where it's showing, it does say.
I mean, if it is in there, then I mean, one would expect that that's what's supposed to happen, right? Because
Yeah.
If any contract, regardless of approved, not approved, signed, not signed, if the person awarded the contract doesn't deliver on the statement of work, then they shouldn't be paid for that service.
Yeah.
Right. So if that did not happen and other people were doing the work that's supposed to be done by the awarded vendor, then they shouldn't be paid for that specific part of the contract. And so I'm just speaking in
General
generality.
terms.
So.
Yeah, understood. Now, Chuck, we also understand that there was a separate food vendor or vendors to provide food to those in quarantine or isolation. According to this contract provision, it's the same subsection E, subsection big letter E, subsection EC. It says for the hotels are supposed to provide nutritious meals to quarantine person 3 times a day, 7 days a week. So my question is, why did we have a separate vendor to provide food if the hotels were supposed to provide this?
Who is the food vendor? Or which food vendor?
I know one name. I don't know if I want to say it live. I don't want to. You know what I mean? I know of one name. All right. Capital Kitchen is what I understand is one.
Okay, so from my understanding with that one, and I wasn't involved with the arrangements for Capital Kitchen, but my understanding is they were brought on to provide feeding for med staff, security personnel, and people in support of these facilities. That was my understanding.
Oh, so a separate vendor for government personnel?
Correct.
Oh,
That's how I understood that.
Well, okay, so that.
Because when it was turned over to me, I told the vendor to stop feeding only because I didn't have a contract or a purchase order. So I told him that we'll work through the GSA procurement if feeding is a necessity at these places.
So do you know if the hotels were providing the food to the quarantined or isolated people?
That's what I'm tracking.
You are tracking that the hotels did provide that.
Yeah, so I'm tracking that that contract was something separate.
Okay.
I do know that from my conversations with Rebecca that Capital Kitchen was providing food for people coming off of the Hano flight.
Okay.
So let's say they missed a meal, they came off the Hano flight, and they missed the contracted meals for the rooms, the 3 meals, whatever was in the original contract. And so I know they're using Capital Kitchens to feed those people coming off of that late night flight.
And as far as you were tracking, that particular vendor did not have an executed contract. There was no purchase order, requisition, request for direct payment, or anything like that.
Not from our office.
Not from your office,
Right.
at least.
So, yeah. So that was all included with the quarantine facilities, isolation facilities, but that was executed in the height of the emergency, right?
Yeah.
Not we're gonna get.
So for the rest of the interview, you can. It's okay. For the rest of the interview, you can see it on our Facebook page. It was one of the lives that we did today. You'll see I'm in my pink shirt, so it's like very recognizable. But and my face is fat because I don't know how to do the angle for the camera. So, what? I'm a person who likes to trip skinny people. It's a thing, So, one of the things that jumps out at me from this interview is Chuck Estevez did not want to get in trouble for anything. He was like, I ain't gonna sign jack. Screw this. I'm not gonna be involved in the illegal expenditure of federal funds. The other thing that comes through is that we have to check the governor's office, Rebecca Respicio, someone about what the real deal is with those meals. Because according to several people who were quarantined at Pacific Star Hotel, it was a separate vendor who was providing the food, and they knew that because there was a stamp of the vendor, and it wasn't the Pacific Star Hotel that was providing. Now, whether that was a vendor of the Pacific Star or a vendor of the government of Guam, we don't know yet because we don't have all of the procurement documents. And because some of these things have been happening without a procurement record, like the contracts for the hotel itself. And then the other thing that comes out loud and clear is that while the residents who were forced to stay at the Pacific Star and at the other hotels were supposed to have been receiving food from those hotels, there was another vendor that, I mean, I've eaten Capital Kitchen food. That is really good food. And you saw cabinet members posting, you know, oh, thank you for this food that we got courtesy of the taxpayers of Guam. They didn't put that part about it, but it was good looking food. And you could tell that they were treated to like some good stuff during this entire period. And save me the theatrics about how they worked so hard and blah, 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 because they were delivering food, blankets, and pillows at hotels while the people of Guam are starving. But all these things jump out at me, at us. The fact that there is no executed contract jumps out at us. And then we stumble across a May 8 memorandum from the governor to Ed Byrne and Lester Carlson, ordering them to pay invoices that have already been made by the hotels during this COVID-19 period. And let me just, this is so funny. She writes it like she's District Court Judge Francis Tydinko Gatewood. May 8, 2020, regarding emergency purchases for medical health and wellness services, she cites some case law to try to justify her procurement authority. She goes over the history of what happened with COVID-19 to try to justify the use of the Public Health Emergency Authority. She says that there's this federal funding, and this federal funding I can use in this, that, or the other way. So I therefore instruct compensation contemplated in the attached agreements and invoices shall be paid subject to any necessary reconciliation. First of all, there are no agreements because they weren't executed. Where services continue to be provided, I instruct that future invoices be paid in accordance with any applicable terms and conditions of such agreements. She's talking about the terms and conditions that her son-in-law made with these people, with these businesses that have outstanding loan balances with the Bank of Guam.
But it also has not been signed by the agency that it's supposed to be signed by.
Or the certifying officer to certify the legal use of funds. Mm-hmm. In accordance with Executive Order Number 2020-13, all agreements and invoices involving the services covered by this memorandum shall be posted on the website of the Office of the Governor. A copy of this memorandum shall also be posted. These expenditures shall be subject to review and shall be included in monthly reporting to the legislature. Situus Maasi, so ordered, in bold, italics, and underlined, Lourdes A. Leon Guerrero. This bitch is this arrogant. Absolutely arrogant. So when she came to us on the camera and she looked like, you know, oh, I'm so sorry, everybody, the people, we're transparent, I love the people, the poor people. It was just all a bunch of fake BS. Because in her arrogance, on May 8, and I believe this is the same day that she came before the public and looked like she was, you know, eating crow.
We were allowed to ask any and all questions to her.
On this same day, this bitch, she writes, I instruct you, despite all of the calls for her resignation, her recall, her apology, for the corruption happening in her administration, she says you pay them anyway. It is so ordered. I have never seen a governor write something like that, ever. Not even Carl Gutierrez, who some might say was heavy-handed. I have never seen only a judge writes that, so ordered. Jesus Christ. But the worst part of it isn't her verbiage. It's not her arrogance. It's the fact that she's instructed the payment of these invoices. One of those invoices is for $544,000 to the Pacific Star Hotel. Do you know how many times public health nurses can be paid their back pay of hazard pay since this entire emergency started? 3 times over. $544,000 can pay public health nurses their hazard pay for the past 8 weeks and their hazard pay for the next 16 weeks. But instead, the governor has paid them only 1 week of back pay for hazard pay and is ordering the immediate payment of $544,000 to the Pacific Star Hotel. Now, you tell me where you think the governor's priorities are. And if you're one of those, we should give her a chance because she's trying her best, this is unprecedented, you need to eat it and go away.
Shove it where the sun don't shine.
Emmy Maratita says, LOL, Troy Malakal and Adet. What does that mean?
I don't know.
But I love Joe Ada. He was my favorite governor ever. Joe Ada, I'm a total Ada Blas guy. Denise Pangolinin says, yes. Denise says, they served her raw food on numerous, what is this?
That's Denise's sister.
Okay. And she's responding to Mark about something. They served Denise's sister at Pacific Star raw food on numerous occasions. She has video of the mold coming through the paint on the walls, mold on the curtains and the ventilation. Oh my God. I'm very sorry for my choice of words, how I called the governor, something, but I get worked up and I mean it, and I'm not apologizing for, I guess I said I'm sorry, but I really am not sorry for using that word because I mean it, and I don't care. Mark Uggan says, our governor is Sofa, King, Reed, Tar, D-I-D. John Jose Cruz Sanchez says, we can't believe this administration anymore, all the lies. We need honesty in our leadership. Denise says to Mark, thank you, prayers, God bless you and your family. Rise Up says, please come out on May 15, 2020 so our voices will be heard loud and clear.
Yes.
No longer will the voices of our people be muted and on deaf ears. Do we have that flyer to post, the Rise Up flyer? The protest flyer.
Can you just put Rise Up and it'll pop up on your screen? Search Rise Up. No, in Facebook, Troy.
Yeah. Right here. Rise Up. The first one?
Yeah, try that.
Rise and then up, like 2 words?
Oh, shoot.
It's not coming up. Anyways.
It's Friday from 10 to 2.
It starts at Paseo.
If you cannot walk with us, the people who can't walk can just be there at Adelup waiting for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's in your WhatsApp, Shelo.
Oh, it's okay. I'm never gonna find it in time.
Wait, because I got a message to make sure that hold on, let me.
Is there anything else that we didn't cover?
No,
tonight?
just don't forget tomorrow. If you're hungry, go by the three pickup sites. It's May 14.
Oh yeah. That the Guam Daily Post is doing, right?
Yes.
One in northern, one in central, one in south.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, it's here. Together, let's march from Paseo to Adelup. Please meet in the parking lot at 9:30 a.m. For those who can't walk the distance, please meet us in front of Adelup on the sidewalk of Marine Corps Drive at 9:45 a.m.
Biba Guam says, as a female governor, mother, and nurse, Lou should have more compassion, but I guess not. Shanessa continues and says, can you guys believe there is word going around that her people are searching for everyone that was bashing her on social media, and they're going to make those people wait for their stimulus checks? Shanessa, I absolutely believe that. That could very possibly be true. That's probably a thing. Sandra Ray just says, no need to apologize, Troy. I called her that word too. It's just, sorry, not sorry, David Lebowski says, if you are at Paxar and it sucks, then go to TripAdvisor and do a review of the hotel. Oh, that's a smart idea. Mm-hmm. John Jose Cruz Sanchez says, Kandit News should be there in the briefing as well. So Prim said, we don't care.
Yeah.
They don't ever say anything that's useful for people.
And Troy really doesn't like it when he's told to be somewhere. Just don't expect it. Please. you know. But we do try our best. We do try our best to get whatever information, you know.
Yeah.
But when we know that it's just gonna be whatever, it's pointless because we're just not gonna get anything, and we'd rather do research on the things that we're investigating.
Yeah, I don't want to waste an hour and a half listening to everything that, you know, it's good for the people in Janela. I don't know where's Josh.
I got it.
I didn't invite Josh. What did you, the Rise Up thing?
Yeah.
All right.
Can we post that so people can see?
Let me
Thanks, huh?
bring it up real quick.
And then even the post one, Prim. Or I can read the post.
And it's
Tomorrow.
also now been 4
10
days
days.
since Ross has not opened. That needs to be a thing, a countdown.
Yeah.
This is the Rise Up one, calling on our community of Guam to join us in protest as we fight for justice. We will be there beginning at 10 a.m. I thought it's at Paseo, and we're gonna walk to Adelup. Did it change?
I believe it's meet at Paseo.
And then walk to Adelup,
yeah,
right?
but people who can't walk will be dropped or go there to Adelup and meet us in the front.
Oh, okay. I am not gonna wear a mask in the middle of the hot day. I'm just gonna stay away from people. Is that gonna be okay with everyone?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not about this mask wearing thing in the middle of the hot sun. As long as I just stay away from people. That's smart, right?
That's very smart.
Very smart. So people are probably like, this very
And
dumb Troy.
I do need to learn how to use my camera voice. I do not have one. Especially if I'm holding the live stream.
Oh, when you're like this.
Hey!
Shut up!
I love it. I love it.
Don't forget, Feed the Need. The Post is hosting this. It's the drive-through food distribution for displaced workers. Thursday, May 14 from 10 to 2 p.m. while supplies last. Locations are Jigo Gym, Barragata Library, and Sagan Basita Agate. If you are a displaced worker who has been affected by the pandemic, the community has come together to support you and feed the need for your families. Now, if there's one thing that I've learned with this drive is that people...
There are some Dr. Melanias.
There's not only liars. Sorry, because there was a lot of liars this morning. But you know, I really try because they're desperate for a reason.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Everyone has their story.
Everyone has their story, but when you see... I don't know how to explain it. It breaks my heart, but as long as we have it, we'll give it. But people really need to remember there's people out there really struggling, and they need to share. You have to share, you know? God's not sleeping, and they're gonna know, God knows that you're not sharing. So please think of other families. If you know of a family that needs help, try to help a hand. According to the Post, they won't ask any questions. Drive up, and you can get the bag that they're presenting to you. And that's at the Jigo Gym, Barragata Library, and Sagan Basita Agate. Here at Kandit, we're still accepting donations this week. We're still giving out groceries and Pampers, and thank you everybody that has come here to help one way or the other. It is very much appreciated, and yeah, that's it.
We have feminine hygiene products too, right? Some?
Yeah, we have a little left.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So if you need some feminine hygiene products,
Soap, shampoo, we have some toothpaste.
toothbrushes too, right? Or
No,
we
we're
run
out.
out?
We're out already.
Okay.
We have Pampers. We have water.
We do not have size 6 Pampers. I learned that the hard way. We do have adult diapers.
No. Alexa bought because she said, "Oh, can you tell Troy here's a Pampers?"
So we
that he
have
doesn't
size
get
6
yelled
Pampers.
at.
So the lady who was looking for size 6 Pampers, you can come back. Compliments of Dr. Alexa Perez and James Adkins.
Yeah, and then we also have water. But when I'm asking the people if they want water, the cases of water, they don't want.
I forgot about this, and this makes me a terrible person knowing the kind of things that I like. About a week ago, someone suggested that we do that we include in the drive dog and cat food for the poor people who are having a hard time affording that right now. And so, if you do want to donate dog and cat food, you can do that. I promise I won't take it. Anyway, my dogs and cats eat a very specific thing, so.
Yeah.
It's
we got a lot of your, we got a
yeah.
good amount.
Actually, I need to go back and get more.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because Jacob made us
a
lot of things.
Yeah. Jacob's tired tonight.
But guys, thank you for joining us. It's been it keeps me sober, just to let you guys know. All of this work, a lot's been going on personally, emotionally, mentally, and helping feed these families that come by and getting it together. And, it's helping me not focus on that and just it gets me through my day. So you guys, all of you keep me sober.
And I just love
Thank
getting
you so
under the
much.
governor's skin. What is your driving purpose, Cello?
To make that money.
You can go to www.kanditnews.com. There is a donate button. You can donate to our cause as well. And you can advertise with us. We have our advertising rates. They're online at our website. Or call me at 456-4237. That's area code 671-456-4237. I've got mobile, text, WhatsApp, whatever. You can also email me at troy@kanditnews.com that you want to advertise, wherever you have a news tip. And of course, we keep our news sources confidential. And
Yeah,
we
I will
never
go to
release
jail
that.
before I release those sources.
I am gangster too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And why did you go to jail, Troy? I'd be like, that is none of your business.
I had to.
Yeah, because I'm not a snitch. For Candid News, I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Johnny Rosario.
And that's over
Good
there.
night.
Good night.
Good night.